Hello, everybody. This is James Reeves giving you NFL picks. We are on week 10. Last week I was 8-5. We had surprise losses with Denver being dominated by the Patriots. The Chargers were losing, and the 49ers lost to the Rams. So some big losses. We'll do better this week. This week is week 10, and I have missed Thursday night football already. I chose the Bengals over the Browns. The Browns definitely came and won. They had a great game. Congratulations to them for tired of being at the bottom of the barrel. They did a great job. One of the best games they've had in years. And we'll go ahead and start with Sunday afternoon games. Tennessee travels to Baltimore. I'm going to go ahead and give this one to Baltimore. Tennessee still playing with their rookie quarterback, Zach Mettenberger. They haven't won any games with him yet. Baltimore, they've had some tough losses in the division, but outside of the division, they've been very, very good. So I'm giving Baltimore this one at home. Our next game, the Chiefs against the Bills. This is going to be a great matchup. The Chiefs are a hot team. They've won their last three. They've won the last 4 out of 5 games. I think they're a good enough road team to go into Buffalo and take this win, mostly because the Bills' injuries and the run game will be slacking without C.J. Spiller there. I'll give this one to the Chiefs. Our next game, which is going to be our toughest game of the week, it's Miami goes to Detroit. Huge game. Detroit is real hot. Miami's real hot right now. Detroit is 6-2, and Calvin Johnson is returning. But they're 31st in rushing, and Miami is 3rd on stopping the run on defense. So Stafford's going to be throwing this ball at least 40, 50 times. I think he'll try to push it too much to Calvin Johnson, and he'll have some big turnovers. It'll be a close one, but I think Miami's going to come in and steal this win. I'm picking the Dolphins. Our next game, the Cowboys and Jaguars play in London. I think this game will be a lot closer than people would expect. Tony Romo has to have some back problems. I'm sure it will affect him flying over to London. But I think ultimately he will play, and it'll be good enough to beat Jacksonville. Jacksonville's only won 1 game. I'm going to go ahead and give this one to the Cowboys. 49ers in New Orleans. 49ers had a huge loss last week to the Rams, 13-10. But they always have a hard time beating the Rams. They couldn't beat them at all last year. Last year they lost and tied. But in New Orleans, they're going to do a lot better, I do believe. Saints defense isn't playing great. They're only a 4-4 team. But I think in New Orleans, they're good enough. Drew Brees, of course, is an awesome quarterback. I think he'll put up enough points and get the win here. I'm picking the Saints at home. Pittsburgh in New York. Ben Roethlisberger, 12 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. Unbelievable. The Jets and the 9 games they've played have allowed more touchdowns than any team since 1981. I think Big Ben will continue throwing tons of touchdowns, and there'll be no way New York will be able to come back from a huge deficit by halftime. I think Steelers are going to come in there and roll over the Jets on this one. I picked Steelers. The Falcons and the Buccaneers, this is a tough one. They're both doing really bad. Their division is the worst division in football. That's the North Division. And I'm going to go ahead and choose Atlanta on the road. The Bucs, just can't give them the win. They've only won 1 single time. I think McCown's going to start this week, coming back from an injury. I don't think they have what it takes to put together 4 quarters to beat a team right now. Atlanta has so many weapons. Rowdy White, Julio Jones. I'm going to go ahead and go with Matt Ryan and the Falcons on the road. Denver Broncos in Oakland. Oakland, the absolute worst team in the NFL. 0 wins. Peyton Manning coming off a huge loss. He is going to be mad, and he's going to be throwing lots and lots of touchdowns. There's no way Oakland can fend off Peyton Manning and the Broncos. Broncos will win the road. The Rams in Arizona. Arizona, the #1 team in the NFL right now. Surprising, shock and all. And they've only lost one single time, and they're definitely not going to lose at home to the Rams. I know the Rams had a big win against 49ers, but on the road to Arizona, Arizona has this game. They're the best team in the NFL. They get this one at home. Next game, the Giants in Seattle. I think it will be a close game. Seahawks, of course, are one of the best teams in the NFL at home. It's going to be loud. I think Eli will have some turnovers, and that will ultimately cost him the game. I think the Seahawks will get this one at home. Our Sunday night game, one of the best rivalries of all time, if not the greatest, the Bears playing the Packers. It's going to be in Lambeau. Bears have had a huge disappointment of a season. Cutler has one of the worst records against the Packers as a quarterback. I don't think there's any way Green Bay in Lambeau Field will allow a loss to the Bears. I think Aaron Rodgers will have a great game. Huge quarterback rating all the time. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers for this one, for sure. In our last game, it's Monday Night Football. Carolina has to travel up to Philadelphia. Eagles are 6-2. Nick Foles is hurt, but Mark Sanchez came in last week and took them to a victory against the Texans. Not an easy defense to win against. Carolina in the worst division. Huge disappointment from last year when they were 12-4. I don't think there's any way they can travel up there and get a victory here. I think the Eagles are too explosive, and Mark Sanchez will continue to do good enough to get the Eagles another win and go 7-2. So I'm going with the Eagles. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Next week is Week 11, and I will see you guys then. Thank you.